cryptic sort of a reading, but we all have heard the Gunas, isn't it? And the last one that he read about, there is a very nice story which is there in the book also. And some of you might have heard it, but I'll just say it because it's entertaining and it sets the tone for the rest of our talk today. So this is about Narada, sage Narad. And he was going with Lord Vishnu himself, and then while talking about something, and all of a sudden Vishnu, and they were probably discussing the same things like that, maybe one of the Thursday Satsangs they were having with one another. But then Vishnu says to Narada, Narada, I'm thirsty, will you go and get some water for me? Oh, we have a devotee in a very different form. He heard what we are going to do. Well, we don't know whether it's a he or she, but yes. Well, whoever it is, you're welcome. Okay, we will continue with the story. While our cameraman is just moving everywhere. And in fact, this actually ties very well to our story also. So Narada was asked to go and get some water. So Narada started going to the village nearby, and he went and then he knocked on the first door that he saw, and then a young lady opened the door, and Narada looked at her and she was beautiful, and not only beautiful, he felt like there's some past life connection with them, and all of a sudden, before he could ask water, he just fell in love with her. And then while he was looking and adoring her beauty, her parents came out and invited Narada inside, and in short time, he was having like a chai with them, and then forgot why he was there. He married to that lady, had children and whatnot, and having a nice life with a couple of children of his own. And while this was all going fine, big flood came into the city, and then all of a sudden Narada found himself, all his happiness was gone, with his 2 children holding and wife somewhere nearby, they were walking, and even the flood increased and he couldn't hold on to his children. He left one child and then trying to hold on to him, he left other one also. Both children are gone. Poor Narada is looking at his wife, and his wife like, what did he just do? And then she was grief struck. And in that she just left herself, and then she also drowned. Narada just had a very beautiful and wonderful life. Lost his wife, 2 children, and he almost lost his consciousness. And then he just waking up and down, and then realized the scene changed. From the flood, it became more different, and all of a sudden there was Vishnu tapping onto his shoulder and said, Narada, you're sleeping here. Half an hour ago I sent you to bring water, and there you are. And then the story, as we say, tells about, we say that Narada was, we are not like him, are we? If Vishnu comes and tells us bring water, we will go bring water. We won't go, and even if the woman or man, whoever you want to, beautiful, it's Vishnu after all, is it? Vishnu, which is basically we can consider as our gurus, gave us a technique. From our hearts we came and accept them as our gurus, and we are disciples. And they said, what? My child, I am going to teach you how to achieve freedom. Just practice Hong Saw. Says, thank you. Then we sit. What did they say? Just watch your breath. Don't think about anything else. Just bring water. Don't go and get married and whatnot. What do we do? What is your experience when we sit on our meditation? Yes, the mind just goes somewhere else. So it's not a different story. Narada was distracted, but we also do get distracted. And if it is not your story, you're wasting your time. But I guess everybody appreciates that. And this is basically what the reading, Gunas is what, why do we get attracted to these kind of thoughts? Because something within ourselves is there. Something is happening, really? All of a sudden, I was giving you some profound knowledge, and there was a little bee, and that's it. The satsang is over, everybody, there is a bee, there is a bee. Our cameraman, dear friend who just read something very, very profound, started running around, because what if it goes inside your ear, isn't it? It isn't only him, it is for all of us. It could be different. Maybe bees and dogs are easy for me, but something else is not as easy. And this is what our samskars or tendencies or vrittis we talk about. And different variation is what the tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic. But these are all tendencies. You see, another funny thing I'll tell you, just to give an example, and then Prisha will appreciate this example. So, if you go like there were three friends, and you ask the three friends, tell us, how do you find happiness? What does bring joy to you? One first friend says, I just like to sit, eat, sleep. He says, that's it? We can't be just sitting and eating all day. He thought for a moment, that's true. So in between, I watch Netflix. That's perfect. The second friend, what is it that your information, what is that you do? I said, no, I can't do that. I need some action. So I travel a lot, and then I also have a business, and I go and then do a lot of business. I do a lot of money, and then through that money, I again travel more. I like this expansion. I like to do all of it. Good. Third friend, what do you do? Third friend says, no, it's okay. I've done both of it. Now I like something more easy. I like to go for pilgrimages if I travel. I like to go and then visit the temples and different mosques and then gurudwaras, all the holy places. I also like to go and then do something seva. I go to ashrams, and we also have our center in Bhosle Nagar. I go there also at times. Three friends. And if you think these three friends are actually your own inside. Do you feel that different points in our lives or in a day, we can identify it with one of these three characters? Sometimes we wake up and it's like, I am like that first friend. Today is the Netflix and food and sleep day. Someday we are just, no, today we got to be action. And then sometimes we are also like, no, I am the meditating yogi. So all three, they're not three different people. There are three different entities within ourselves only. And this is what is Tamas, Rajas, and Sattva. I talked about Prisha because we give this example even when we work with children in Education for Life, that Swamiji has said, where they talk about specific gravity. If a child is actually just absolutely not willing to move, then we understand that is like a lot of tamas is holding that child down. So you find a way to move that energy, move it into a little rajas, and then move that a little bit, make it more refined to make it sattvic. Yet, the reading says all three are not enough. Meaning what? We feel that, okay, finally, when I come to the state of a devotee, I will be free. But the real freedom, it is an important step. But where is the important step? Where is the freedom lies? And again, some of you may know Sanskrit, but this particular invocation, we sing it pretty much every meditation, don't we? And then the second one that we sing, where we talk about bhavatitam triguna rahitam. What that means is it is beyond the three gunas. So this is like, how do I do it? I can work with the tamasic pravrutti, I can remove them. Rajasic, I can control it and then make it into a sattva. So sometimes and that is the stages of a devotee. There is a beautiful song, we will sing it next time, which is which Swamiji has written, which come gather round, and it has 3-4 stanzas. And in some ways, the stanza actually tells us in terms of a progression of a devotee also. And then everyone here can decide, and it's sort of more for reflection. So the first stanza says like, some people think to harvest happiness by weeding trouble. I want to find happiness, so I'll remove things. First outside and then inside. This is a terrible tendency. I move 1, 2, 3 and cultivate more and more good. And that's how I will find happiness. But in the same stanza, Swamiji says, but the trouble never ends. Get rid of one, you will find its friend. I'm not a doctor. We have a doctor here, so I'm taking a bold step asking these kind of a questions, you see. Like we have this body, how does this body hold together? Hmm? Because it has like this bone structures and then some mass pasted on it, isn't it? But in the spiritual context, we also talk about we have a astral body, not necessarily visible through our eyes, but energy body. What holds the energy body together? If I ask you that, what holds it together is our samskars, is our vrittis. Both vritti, generally we use this word, or tendencies. We use this word in a bad way, but no, all of it. I'm habitually good. I don't like to be mean with people. This is also a good samskar. I like to be helpful. Good, very helpful thing. But it also is a tendency in all of it, as long as we have this physical body, or meaning we have an energy body, meaning what? We have some tendencies. And as long as we have tendencies, this life, something is going to come to us and then poke it at times and invoke a response. At times it could be a good response, at times it could be a terrible response. But what do we sometimes think? If we are into that mode of, no, I am a pilgrimage guy, or I am a devotee, we say, oh, I fell short of it. I need to work on this. And there is a good quality to it also, but it isn't enough. And that is why this reading actually is both a little challenging, and yet at the same time it points to something very, very, very important. Which one of these is going to find God? We will say maybe the last guy, he is the best character. Say, it is true. But he is the one, or she is the one, who is actually going to be in the way also. Triguna Rahitam, meaning what? It is beyond the three gunas. We just chanted one chant also. We said, ki, Lord, when in darkness I am confusion. Are you ever in any confusion? No, Damodar is never in confusion. It's only me. We all have confusion, isn't it? Then he says, always I follow thee. Now it will be very convenient if, like, we have Dr. Aditya here, Bhavani here, we have Alona here. Like next is thee. The Lord is also sitting there. So I know I'm in confusion, whom to go and ask. But Lord isn't sitting on a chair or anything. Where is he sitting? We know he's sitting somewhere inside. But whenever there is a confusion, all these three characters that we talk, they will have opinion. First we'll say, forget it, just go watch Netflix, you will feel better. And actually it is true. The second will have second opinion. The third will have another opinion. Whom are we going to listen? He's saying none of these three. There will be a fourth voice which will not be identifiable. So how do we identify it? This is the work that we do. We identify these three voices and remove them. Then remains the space. What do we do in our meditation? We practice a lot of things. And we say, well, at the end of the meditation, you don't do anything. Our mind doesn't understand what is it talking about. I understand watch the breath. I understand energization exercise. Even if Alona is confusing me with her instructions, I'm still trying to follow my best. But when we talk about silence, just do nothing, because most likely who is listening is the third character. I can go to pilgrimages, yes, I understand. I can go and then serve at the Sangha, I can understand that. Now the same character, if you say, now you don't do anything, just sit. For a moment it will sit and then say, but something needs to happen, isn't it? But when we identify this third, then we now remove all the three. What remains is sort of a void. And that is the space of Satchidananda. That is a space beyond the three guna. And when we sit there, we are in Him. All I live for, all I live, I forgot the last line, is to love thee, my eternal friend. It is not the space which is, because you see, like most of these energies, they come, they go. In the same also, we want to do today, tomorrow we are not the same enthusiastic. Day after we are again super enthusiastic. Not eternal, not something everlasting. Use that quality. This is not a, while I am telling you all these things, has no meaning. Whatever I say has no meaning unless you look for them. All these characters. And you say, okay, I found you. You are not. If I found you, you're different and I am different. And when we remove them, you say, you sit there, I'll come. They will all keep chatting, even in the room, you say, like, everybody quiet. Nobody is going to be quiet. But when we identify this part of it, I have understood what has remained is the quietness. That is the Satchidananda. That is the eternal friend who doesn't come and go, who doesn't change. We have to find it. And that is why Swamiji, again, I'll end with this thought. Don't let your mind or anything think that this is something in future. Swamiji said it is good to begin when we meditate on God. Say, bow to the gurus. He said, but it's not enough. He said, you have to meditate in God. We won't understand it, but we got to figure it out. Because when we have some tangibility to what I just said, and we sit, we're not rushing now anywhere. What we're looking for is here. We're not rushing. What we are doing then? We're using our technique to stop this tendency of rushing away. And in that, when we look, we become the fourth. And there is actually no fourth. Is the true joy, which is not dependent on even just eating, sleeping, watching, or activity, or for that matter, elevated activity. It is always and already there. Triguna Rahitam, beyond the three gunas. It is a self-work, it is a discovery, and we practice for that. It is tangible. With that thought, I will pause for today. Om. Now we will do an arti.